Don't forget to check out and order your copy of our latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. You can find this on our website at footballgameplan.com/books. Be on the lookout for other titles, and we have this book available in both paperback and PDF form. Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2015 NFL team preview for the Miami Dolphins. We're going to take a look at their team top to bottom, and let's start this video off by taking a look at the quarterback position. Ryan Tannehill has gotten better statistically each year in the league, which is a good thing. Where he has stayed the same is in the situational football department, third down offense versus pressure, red zone offense, and end of game situations. I do think the Dolphins can win with Tannehill, but I think the emphasis should be on not relying on him. Instead, it should be making him a piece of the offense, similar to what the Cowboys did last year with Tony Romo. You want to de-emphasize him throwing the football while increasing the output offensively everywhere else. I think cutting back on the attempts, using his legs a little bit more, allowing him to operate off play action could help him take a major step this year. I would say going from 36 attempts a game to about 24 would help this offense out as a whole. Now, Matt Moore and Josh Freeman will battle it out for the number 2 job. I think Freeman, with his age, still has some upside left, so it'll be interesting to see in training camp. I like what the Dolphins have in the backfield. It's a great mesh with what they do offensively. They want slashers, and they definitely have that on this roster. Like I said back in 2012, Lamar Miller should be the guy, and he proved that last season, going over 1,000 yards at 5.1 yards a carry. Miller has that breakaway capability, and I think he could be a consistent 1,300-yard rusher in this league. The biggest battle is for the number 2 role with Damian Williams, LaMichael James, Mike Gillislee, and also rookie 5th-round pick Jay Ajayi. The Fins want Ajayi to be the guy, but the other guys, in my opinion, LaMichael James, have the ability to thrive with more carries. Two of the top 3 receivers are gone, but the Dolphins definitely got better on the flanks. Miami brought in veteran Greg Jennings via free agency, Kenny Stills via trade, and he drafted Louisville standout Devontae Parker in the 1st round. Teaming those 3 up with last year's 2nd-round pick Jarvis Landry gives Miami a nice quartet to work with. In my opinion, they have 2 legit number 1s in Parker and Landry. Both guys possess excellent hands and the ability to win above the rim. And I actually like the 2 developmental young players they have in Matt Hazel out of Coastal Carolina and Michael Preston out of Heidelberg. Both guys have size and skill. They just need more reps. And I would also keep an eye on undrafted rookie free agent DeMar Altman out of Maine. I believe his value is on special teams, as he was an outstanding returnman for the Black Bears. At tight end, they lose Charles Clay, which was a big piece of their passing game, but they went out and added Jordan Cameron from the Browns in free agency. Can he stay healthy is the key for him. If so, the loss of Clay doesn't hurt as much. I would also keep an eye on last year's 5th-round pick Arthur Lynch out of Georgia, who was injured all last season, and I believe Lynch is similar in style to Jordan Cameron. Deion Sims is a really good blocking tight end, and I still think former wide receiver Jarrell Robinson out of Arizona State is a sleeper on the roster that needs to get more playing time. The health of Brandon Albert will be huge for this unit, and I still like this group as a whole. Contrary to popular belief, the Fins have a pretty good offensive line. Tackle Jawan James can play either side equally as effective and provides insurance at left tackle if Albert isn't ready by week 1. Center Mike Pouncey is still one of the better centers in the game, and I also think he has the ability to excel at guard. Second-year player Billy Turner out of North Dakota State is a guy I really like. Turner gets the chance to start at right guard and should do quite well. And I thought the Fins got a steal in the draft with offensive lineman Jamil Douglas out of Arizona State. He graded out as a 2nd-round talent to me and is probably going to start at left guard. In my opinion, the depth is there as well with guys that can be spot starters if need be. And I really like the Donald Hawkins and Jeff Linkenbach pickup via free agency. The Dolphins made 2 good moves this offseason to help strengthen the defensive line. They brought in perennial Pro Bowler and All-Pro Ndamukong Suh, who helps out on 2 fronts by defending the run, collapsing the pocket, and getting after the quarterback in the process, and by the drafting of defensive tackle Jordan Phillips out of Oklahoma. Phillips is young. He came out as a redshirt sophomore and still has good upside as a prospect. You also can't undersell the signing of C.J. Mosley as well. Those guys, along with last year's free agent signing Earl Mitchell, should make the Dolphins stout on the inside. I think you will also start to see growth from Anthony Johnson as well. Strengthening the interior only eases things up on the edge with All-Pro Cameron Wake and Olivier Vernon. Wake should see more one-on-one opportunities this year, while Vernon should continue to take advantage of the attention paid to Wake and now Ndamukong Suh. Look for second-year man Terrence Faday's role to increase. The 6'4", 282-pound defensive end can kick down inside if need be and has very good pass rushing skills. And Derek Shelby is a quality reserve and should continue to flourish in that role. The Dolphins didn't make any major moves to get better at linebacker, choosing to sit pat with what they have on the roster. Look for Jelani Jenkins to make bigger strides this season. Jenkins played some good ball last year. Koa Misi, the middle linebacker, has been a starter since his rookie season, but he has battled nagging injuries and inconsistency. This could be the battle, I believe, at strong side linebacker with Chris McCain and undrafted free agent Zach Vigil out of Utah State. If it were me, Vigil would be the choice. Every time I put on Utah State film, Vigil was consistently making plays on both ends of defense. He also did a great job at the East-West Shrine game this year. McCain will get first crack, but Vigil, I think, will end up logging time before the year is over. Both Spencer Pasinger and Kelvin Shepard are good depth guys, and I think Jeff Luke out of Cincinnati could also find himself logging time at middle linebacker. I'm a big fan of his instincts and ability versus the run, which is what the Fins hope to get better at doing this season. I like the flexibility here in the secondary for Miami. They have a litany of guys that can do multiple things. Guys that can play on the boundary as well as in the slot. Guys that can play corner or safety. And they're led by the spectacular Brent Grimes, who led the team with 5 interceptions. The battle will take place opposite of him with Will Davis and Jamar Taylor. And I think a healthy Taylor gets the nod, but Will Davis is a very good player in his own right. Bryce McCain will be a good starter at nickel. And what will be interesting to see is where they decide to play rookie 5th-round pick Tony Lippett out of Michigan State. Lippett will be making the full transition to cornerback. He has obvious ball skills, but the consistency won't be there just yet from a guy making the full-time switch. Now at safety, getting Louis Delmas back is huge. Delmas, coming off an injury, gives them good range at free safety, while strong safety Rashad Jones, I believe, is one of the most underrated players in the game, and he gives the Fins great play on the back end. Look for second-year player Walt Aikens out of Liberty to see his role increase. Aikens is a tremendous athlete that can match up versus wide receivers and tight ends because of his cornerback background. The coverage units and the punting with Brandon Fields are where they need to be for the Fins. What's needed is for kicker Caleb Sturgis to get back to what he was at Florida, a consistent, reliable threat. Now, confidence is a fragile thing, and if he gets his back, Miami will definitely be fine. They left some points out there on the field last season. The return game is a question mark, which is why I mentioned the name DeMar Altman earlier in the video. I think this opening gives him a chance to stick. He has the skills to take over for Jarvis Landry so he can fully focus on wide receiver. I have the Dolphins finishing second in the AFC East. I think this is a solid team top to bottom that has made improvements on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They're also strong on the perimeter and in the secondary. And if they don't try to make Ryan Tannehill be Dan Marino and take the ball out of his hands a little bit more this year, they have more than enough talent to challenge for the division. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Dolphin fan forums for always showing football game plan support.